Welcome to my channel. This is Nomadic J. I am in Panama City. Going to take you with me on the city sightseeing tour of Panama City on the hop on, hop on bus, that big double-decker red bus that you've probably seen in other large cities. This is probably one of the best way to see any city. I mean, I only got just hooked to these buses when I was at Cape Town, South Africa. I've seen them before, but I just never thought of it, as a place as part of my way to explore a city. But definitely should check out this one. This is actually not too bad. I think it's relatively new. I was here last year in September and April, and I don't recall hearing about it or seeing it. It's like 13 stops. I decided to catch this particular bus at the Albrook Mall, which is a massive, massive mall, one of the biggest mall in Central, South, or North America, definitely Western Hemisphere. So definitely want to check it out. I'll drop a link below. I already been through this mall, so you won't really see much here, as well as a few other places you won't see much. But I want to kind of touch on some of the 13 stops that they cover in this video, and hopefully you can decide whether or not something you want to do. This particular day, I was told the bus run like every hour. I waited about an hour and a half for this bus. Thank God I was at the mall. It was something to do, but I didn't splurge around waiting because I didn't know when it was going to show up. The guy, the guard at that particular entrance said it's supposed to arrive in 15 minutes. Hour and a half later, it showed up. So obviously, use your judgment wisely on how you decide what you want to do and what you don't want to do. It's $30. I mean, if you buy it on the bus or at the kiosk that they have at the Balboa Boutique Plaza. But if you do it online, it's like $33 for 24 hours. But if you want to do it for like 48 hours, which I suggest if you're not familiar with any of these things and you want to get off, I suggest you go ahead and do the 48 hours. Because I'm not sure of these timings. And again, I don't know if it was a fluke today that it didn't show up within an hour, but I know we stopped somewhere for 15 minutes once, 10 minutes once, and I think it's only one bus. I don't think there's multiple buses. So just use your better judgment on what you're going to do. Again, there you go. It finally showed up. I think it's new. It's still developing. I just think this particular bus is only focused on the area that was once, controlled by the United States in Panama City and parts of downtown. It doesn't really cover some of the other parts of Panama. So maybe that's in the future. That may be something that bus number 2 or a different route, maybe a different color line, gonna cover. So, but right now, the main touristy area, especially with the water and all that, is on this particular route. So obviously, I won't say the most important part, but the most touristic part is definitely on this route. So you get to see everything. I think this bus really was primarily designed for people taking cruises, So anyway, so again, this bus focused pretty much on former military installation like Fort Clayton, which used to be Army base, and Albrook Air Force Station or Air Base. As you can see some of the photos. The only problem with this particular tour is that unless you're on the lower level, you really can't hear. I mean, there's a live tour guide that pretty much talks about everything's going on. But I couldn't hear him. I mean, I hear some of it. Depends on when I got the wind and when I didn't get the wind, if you're on the second level. But I think if you're on the lower level where there's no wind and a lot of windows, you'll probably be able to hear everything from the tour guide. I heard some of the things. So, you got to use your better judgment. And you may, if you decide to go, probably look at, where it's going to be stopping at and probably do your own research. Because, again, you might not be able to hear the tour guide on this bus, depending on where you're sitting at on the bus. Again, these pictures are pretty much just the old base. I mean, for me, being ex-military, it kind of even though I was never stationed in Panama, it kind of gives me, some kind of nostalgia because all military bases, especially during that period of time, look alike. Not now. They've done a lot of renovation and knocking down old buildings. A lot of these buildings from World War II, well, not necessarily in Panama, but definitely in the U.S., but the architecture is the same. So it's kind of good to look at and see what kind of give a semblance what military life was like back in the day when they were actually military and active duty soldiers. In this, video, we're actually going to the first stop. Now, this is not the first stop. I actually jumped on the fourth stop, which is Albrook Mall. We're going to the, basically the Panama Canal. This is the area near the Panama Canal. We're going to be stopping out at the Miraflores Visitor Center, which is a space where you can live a unique experience of the Panama Canal. Now, it's a $20 entrance fee into this particular building. And supposedly you'll be able to find, different activity to get to know and enjoy the Panama Canal to its fullest. Here's a building right here. It's a beautiful facility. I didn't go. I wasn't really planning on checking it out again. But I hear it's pretty nice. Now, I read somewhere that, if you go in there to be able to catch some of the ships going through, I heard some of the ships don't run between 10 and 2. This is not something that the visitor guy, the tour guide said. It's just something I read somewhere. So take it in consideration. Again, all of this, all part of the U.S. military, which was pretty much in charge or in control of the canal, protecting the canal and making sure, before it turned it back over to the country of Panama. So again, it's a lot of these pictures you see are really just the base, everything surrounding the base. It's clean. When you look at it, the office of Panamanian moved in and really made great use of it because, from the look at some of the names on the building, it seemed like a lot of important offices are located on the former military bases. So something just need to just check out. I don't know what this statue. I'll make sure I put it down so you kind of get out of there what this is. But this is really nice, and I'll make sure I annotate it, in the comment below. Again, they shared what it was, but I didn't hear it because it was in Spanish, or she said it in English, but I missed the English part because it probably was too windy. So it's a beautiful area. This area right here is actually near the new convention center, again, which is built on the military base. It's a beautiful convention center. I think it was built in 2020 or maybe 2021. I'll make sure I put the correct date once you see the picture of the. But that's it right there. It is beautiful, mega massive facility. This is the new convention center. Just check it out. I like the way that little Panama Canal train is right in front of it. It's a really nice facility to check out. Now, this is the Causeway Amador. This is obviously one of the most famous and touristic part, of Panama City, because it's just the water and the whole causeway. It is just beautiful over here. It's just breathtaking. I just really enjoyed this. So there's like 4 islands that we're gonna before we actually get there, we're gonna actually check out the. We're not going inside. We're gonna check out the Biodiversity Showcase Center. This beautiful building right here. It's everything dealing with the Panama's ecosystem. Explain how Panama was formed. How the exhibits of animals, and show how they migrated to the areas. This is a really important, facility, a museum for Panama as well as probably Central America. So, and I think a lot of things is actually connected with the American Smithsonian, because I did see Smithsonian word somewhere, and I don't know if they call it Smithsonian there or not. But again, we're headed to, like I said, the Amador Causeway, and which is pretty much a 2-mile causeway collection of islands. We're gonna touch Naos Island, Colibri Island, Perico Island, and Flamenco Island. All that's is part of this area right here. The first one's going to be Punta Calibra. It's the home of Calibra Natural Center. So all these islands were part of the Panama Canal, and which was used for the defense of the canal during World War II. The construction of marinas, hotel, and a shopping center, and several restaurants have turned the island to a recreation area. So these islands are really just beautiful. I mean, people go there to just spend a lot of time. So just kind of enjoy the view. I gave you an overview of all the islands, 4 islands in the area. Check it out. Now you're going to see, like I said, I just passed Colibra, and of course the next place we actually did a pit stop at Isla Flamenco. You know, you'll be seeing right here in the picture coming up soon. Uh, it's beautiful out there. Wow. I see people, jumping off the bus and probably staying there because I can understand. Or maybe it's hotels out there, so maybe they take the hotel out there. I don't know. Uh, but just check it out and just kind of get a view of the area. All right, so the next stop, this is actually, we're going to Sabroso, Panama, which is basically a restaurant. There's quite a few restaurants in this area. I wasn't sure what was so important about this particular one, but apparently this is one that's, kind of like where you get a lot of joy, music, drums, singers, live shows, and folk dances with entertainers and DJs. So I guess it's probably one of the most famous restaurants in this area, Sabrosa Restaurante. I supposedly have challenges, contests, even karaoke. This is a place where local tourists and locals mix together and enjoy an experience. So this is definitely, I guess, a stop that you're supposed to check out. Again, there are other restaurants here, but I guess that particular one is famous, tourist hotspot because it's definitely on the list. After that, we're going to be experiencing the historical, charming, and the vibrant neighborhood of Casco Antiguo. They pretty much call it, Viejo, Casco Viejo, which is old town basically, or old country, old city, old quarters as they call it. We're going to be heading there, but obviously, just to check out these views of the city. That's one of the other things you get, just from hanging out on the Paulsway. The beautiful, beautiful views of the city. This was some type of old hospital or something. Yeah, some type of old hospital. Or maybe it was an old convention center. I have to look that up again. I think it was an old hospital. But again, these are some old barracks. Some of them are not even in use. They're like abandoned. So I guess they don't need every building. I don't know why they just won't knock them down, but I guess maybe they'll be able to use them later on, So, and like I said, we are just kind of headed to the Casco Viejo, which is considered a UNESCO cultural World Heritage Site. The district dates back to 1673, and it featured vibrant plazas and picturesque brick paved streets surrounded by colorful buildings. The area is ideal for walking, discovering history, and enjoying a variety of fine cuisine. come for some of the city's best gastronomy, culture, and photo ops, and stay to mingle with the locals in the heart of the nightlife scene. Now, I've already been there. I mean, again, that's why I say you suggest you do the 48 hours of this bus ride, because this, old via, I mean, the old quarters is a tour within itself. I mean, whether you do a tour guide or just do it on your own, it can take a few hours on its own. So it really is up to you. I think I have a video. I mean, again, if I have a video, I'll drop a link below of this area, because I had a different site at one time, so I might have placed it on another site, but I'll see if I still have a video. But this is a beautiful area. Definitely have to check it out. Again, we're going to pass the Mercado del Marisco, which is basically the fish market. It's located on the Avenida Bambor. It's at the entrance of the historic Casco Viejo. It was created by Panama City with the help of the Japanese in 1995 with investment of about $8 million. I mean, it was dedicated to the sale of fish and shellfish, and have restaurants and inns. I mean, it's definitely a place to go. I mean, it's right there near the Costa Centera walking area. I've walked it many times. I love that area. It's definitely a place to do any time of the day. I mean, Sunday is, the fish market is busy. I mean, again, I'll drop a link below, because I definitely shared a video of the fish market, and you definitely want to check that out also. It's a beautiful area to walk any day of the week. If you're fortunate to be living in that area, then you definitely want to check it out while you're there. Now, right now we head into pretty much to a mall, I guess, that used to be hot. Metro Central, which is pretty much a mall. What I think where people used to go, they don't really go anymore. I mean, they used multi pretty much, extensively throughout the area. I'm not sure why they love the word, but this area is just near the Multi Central Mall. It's a mall that it looks like a mall where people used to go. I think people go to Moto Plaza or Motoplex Mall now, but it's a huge mall. But it just looked like, it's not dirty or dingy. It just doesn't seem like, it seems void of people. It's like it's just missing people. It just, again, from the street, it looked like a place to be, but once you get, and I've been in it already, so I don't really share any images, and I really didn't take any pictures before, because it doesn't seem like it's, the food court is not really all that great. It's just, really just, unless you right there near, stay in one of the hotels in the area, it's not a place you just go. You don't just take an Uber from other parts of town just to go to it, unless you're already right there, in my opinion. Again, it's a mall where, I guess, where people used to go before they built the multiplex mall, which is a really, really nice mall. And the same thing for this, the other stop that which is the Balboa Boutique Plaza. This is actually where the only kiosk that I've noticed in the city for the hop on, hop off bus. So if you in the area, this is, and you want to pay up front, this is probably where you go. It's the only place you can go. Again, you can jump on a bus, but this is really the starting point for the bus tour. I jumped on number 4 at Albrook Mall. So something you just want to think about. I got out and walk around. Again, from the street, it looks like a super, super busy area. But once you get out and walk around, it doesn't feel like there's not a lot of stores there. It just seems like a lot of things that used to be there just closed down. Again, if you're living in the area, if you have a hotel in the area, then I guess there's plenty of places, but not a lot of option. Because you may end up finding yourself, even living in the area, taking a bus or Uber to the multiplexes mall, because the multiplex is definitely that type of mall. I'll drop a link below of it, because I actually have that video, as part of my library also, a playlist too. So if you want to check it out, definitely look in the link below, comments below, and you'll find a link to that particular to that mall. But again, if you get out and walk out, there's not a lot going on. Not what you expect. There's some things, but when you driving in a car, you would think it's a lot. But like this particular plaza right here, I got out and walked around. It seemed like nothing is there. So again, I guess it's just the way it is in cities in every country. Places where that used to be hot and it's no longer hot anymore. So anyway. The next video I have is supposed to be Parque Uraca, and for some odd reason, well, obviously you're going to see more of just Balboa Avenue. It's a beautiful area, but I forgot to take pictures of Parque Uraca, which is pretty much a city park. I have some images of some type of housing area. I don't know if this considered El Sharik. What is that area? I think the area is called El Chorrillo. I might be jacking up the name. Or Santa Ana. Those are housing areas inside, or neighborhoods inside of the city. Also, I have clips of Ancon Hill area. I don't really have this particular area right here. Mi Poblito, which is pretty much an area that's connected to Ancon Hill, which is kind of like an area where people do a lot of walking. It's obviously supposed to have some of the best views of the city. Again, this is just another beautiful park in the city. It's supposed to take like 30 minutes. Give you a chance to see views of the city and even Panama Canal. I hear also there's some vegetation, a lot of things to see up in there. Again, this bus takes us back through the base. Again, this tour is definitely based around a lot of the former areas that used to be controlled by the military. So you're going to see a lot of, old building from the U.S. Army and intertwined with new facility and new structures that's been added by the Panamanian government. So it's a beautiful, beautiful area. I really enjoyed being there. So. And there you have it. I'm back where I started. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, this is a really good tour. You should check it out. Maybe they, again, will tighten up the bugs later on. Use your time management wisely. Don't go nowhere and get stuck because you may not be able to come back, especially if you do it late. So